Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away named Ajebala, lived a poor farmer. He worked hard every day, tilling the dry soil, dreaming of a better life. On an unfaithful day, fate brought the farmer and a princess together. They met by chance in the village marketplace, where the princess often wandered, disguised as a commoner, to escape the confines of royal life. Though they came from two different worlds, a connection sparked between them. The farmer, unaware of her true identity, found himself drawn to her warmth and kindness. And both fell in love with themselves. Unbeknownst to the farmer, that the lady she fell with was the king's daughter, while the king had already received countless proposals from the wealthiest suitors across the land. These men, with their riches and titles, were everything the king hoped for in a match for his daughter. Concerned with power and alliances, believed that only a man of wealth and influence could be worthy of the princess. The idea of a simple farmer as a suitor was unthinkable. But the princess's heart did not yearn for wealth or titles. She longed for the simplicity and sincerity of the farmer she had met, whose humble charm and honesty had left an impression on her. She knew her father, the king, had grand ambitions for her future, but she dreamed of a life where love, not riches, was the true prize. So one day she decided to inform her father the king about her new lover. Hearing this, his father the king was scoffed and was disappointed, because he wanted her to marry a very rich man in the quiet of her chambers. The princess could not stop thinking about the farmer. She knew her father favored wealthier suitors, but her heart belonged to the humble man she had met in the marketplace. Hello, kindly subscribe, like and to my channel so that I will be impressed to create another interesting story. After a long time of thinking about the new lover that her daughter meet, the king came up with a plan, determined to secure the most prosperous match for his daughter. The king issued a grand challenge to all suitors. The man who could complete 3 impossible tasks would win the princess's hand in marriage. Though many wealthy men from neighboring towns had gathered to accept the challenge, the farmer, remembering the princess's kindness, decided to enter as well. He had little to offer but his heart, yet he believed that love, not gold, could win the day. A farmer? What could a man of such low standing possibly offer my daughter? She deserves a prince or a wealthy lord, not a commoner who works in the fields. The king scouted. But the king's advisors, sensing something special about the farmer's courage, suggested that perhaps he should be allowed to try. And they tell the king that they will be creating an impossible task which no one can complete, so that the farmer will be disqualified. Then the king will choose a groom for his daughter. So he had no choice than to accept her new daughter's suitors to join the challenge, while the farmer on the other hand had a very high feeling for his new lover, which made him worried all days. But he had no choice than to accept his present fate. So he went back to his farm, where his days were filled with hard labor, tending the dry, stubborn soil. Though he dreamed of a better life, his reality was much like the dirt he tilled, harsh and unyielding. But fate, as it often does, had a surprise for him. One day, a royal herald appeared, declaring a challenge. The king sought a suitor for his daughter. Whoever could complete 3 impossible tasks would win her hand. And so, the farmer, with nothing to lose and everything to gain, accepted. The farmer arrived at the royal palace, where he was brought before the king with all the other suitors. The king, a stern and powerful man, looked down upon the humble farmer. The king proposed a series of tasks, each more impossible than the last, as the price for his daughter's hand. The first task? To retrieve the golden fleece, guarded by a ferocious dragon in the eastern mountains. The king said he farmer journeyed deep into the dark forest. There, in a hidden cave, lived a dragon, massive and terrifying, who guarded the legendary golden fleece. With the other suitors. After trekking a long distance, they meet a lion who chased after them, and they were all separate. Each of them went to his own way. But just as doubt began to cloud the farmer's mind, a fairy appeared. She whispered words of advice: use your wits, not your strength. Dragons, despite their size, cannot resist a riddle. Inside the lair, the farmer met the dragon face to face. Rather than fight, the farmer proposed a riddle. What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up it goes, yet it never grows? The farmer asked. The dragon, though fearsome, was wise, and answered without hesitation, a mountain. The farmer grins, unfazed, and offers another riddle. But the farmer was prepared with a second riddle. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I? The dragon growled in frustration, unable to solve it. At last, it gave in. The answer was a map. So the farmer told the dragon that he got the answers right. The farmer returned victorious, presenting the golden fleece to the king. But the king, still determined to see him fail, gave him a second task: fetch the crown of the wind, lost atop the glass mountain. The farmer arrived at the glass mountain. Its surface was smooth as glass and impossible to scale. The task seemed hopeless, but the fairy appeared once more. Sometimes, what you seek can be called to you, rather than found, she whispered. The farmer closed his eyes, trusting her words. As he stood still, the crown of the wind floated down from the sky, answering his call. With a smile, the farmer set off back to the castle. Once again, the farmer triumphed. The king, now desperate to stop him, devised a final, impossible task. Bring me a star from the sky, he commanded. The farmer nodded, determined, and set out once more. As the farmer gazed up at the stars, he remembered something his mother had given him, a small crystal that shone like the stars above. In that moment, he realized that not all stars came from the sky. With the crystal in hand, the farmer knew he had found his star. The farmer presented the crystal, a star as bright as any in the sky. The king, realizing he had been bested, could no longer deny the farmer's success. The princess, who had watched each of his victories, now approached, smiling with admiration. You've earned my hand, not through strength, but through cleverness and heart, she said. The farmer smiled, knowing he had won her heart, and together, they looked to a bright future. The farmer and princess walk hand in hand through the beautiful royal garden, laughing and enjoying the peaceful surroundings. Flowers bloom around them as they smile at each other. So the king came to the farmer and he asked his servant to change his cloth, and he gave the farmer a ring, saying, he has the courage and wisdom to build this land, so he will be the next king. This was how the farmer joined the royal family from being poor to rich.